amazing and wonderful people around the world. How are y'all today? So I'm gonna tell you a story. But this is two separate stories though. So I'm gonna be doing both. So the beginning now. A mother and her two sons were on a mountain trying to pick up some sticks for a fire to heat their home because the mountain was filled with snow. And the snow was like really cold, so they didn't really have any like warmth or anything to keep them warm at night and to be able to allow themselves to also cook and many other things. It's not like what we have, like the lights or anything like fire, like yeah, fire really. We have heaters and air vents stuff, but this is like way back then. So as they were picking up some sticks in many places for some reason, sorry, allergies. An avalanche had came down, and the mother heard, and it was like she looked up, and then for some reason, it was like they didn't really expect it, but for some reason it came, and so she grabbed her son, grabbed her other son, and also it's like just leave the wood. We need to be safe. So she grabbed both of them and then started running like very fast. But it was like they almost got caught in the avalanche. And it was very scary because it was a mountain place, really. If you didn't know what caused it, though, because avalanches, they don't really happen in the mountains of where they live. There in the cold days, it was just like really normal. But then they had to run. They told everyone to be careful of the mountains when climbing up because there have been people that have been covered and that have already died during the avalanche, and no one could have been saved. That was the beginning of it. A couple of years later, a girl came home because she lived in the city, really, where there was like electronics and everything else. But for some reason, she received a letter saying that she had to come home because if she didn't come home, there are things that needs to be discussed. So, but it was like hard because the bridge was not like any other ordinary bridge. The bridge, if it was day, the bridge would not appear. It would look like an old crooked bridge. But she knew that at night it would become a normal steady bridge. So she came during nighttime. And she was really good about it because she made sure and she made it timely and everything became okay. When she came home to greet her mother and her siblings and also her father, there was bad news from the mother. The father had got caught in the avalanche. She burst into tears and was like, "What happened? Why did go to the avalanche? What happened mostly?" For some reason, they could not explain it. They could not do much about it. He got caught. The mother was still sad. The siblings did not come out of the room because they had felt heartbroken by the story that was led. It was hard. It was difficult. They had to do everything on their own. The mother had asked the daughter to come home. And then they had to talk. And it's like, I can't leave my home, my own place. I want to help. I want to stay. But for some reason, I have a job. I have a friend. I have life. I have a life there. Being back here brings not very good memories, is what she said. Take your time. They already found the body, so we'll have to bury it. It was a funeral. She knew it was a funeral. So she went around the small town. She walked around a small town trying to get familiar with it, seeing how everything has changed. There are a lot of things that have changed during the time when she had left home. Everything had become different. Everything did not become the same as it once was before. She met up with some of her friends that still remembers her, but some were upset. Did not know what to do, did not really know. A part of her wished that she could have stayed. A part of her wished. After that, she came into this old abandoned building, where she walked in and saw someone that she knew. Caught him before he almost tripped and fell. They looked at each other, but things were different. He has a girlfriend. Or someone that he likes. And things have become different and distant and rather cold. It was heartbroken. She had once wondered. But I guess the wondering could not have become true. On that day, there was something about that house. It was hard to explain, but she had to get the feeling of the place to get to know it better. For she had left home for a reason. And when she came to that old abandoned building, there were statues of people, but they were still alive in a way. But for some reason, things have become quite different. People have vanished. People are not like what they once were. She tried to run away and escape, but she forgot that she can't leave because the bridge just disappeared until nightfall, and things have become different. Well, that's the end of that short story. It's like Avalanche, but a mystery to be solved. What would you do if you saw that place? So this is the second story, but it's like a different part of the story. A celebration was being held by a whole group of people. A celebration of someone that is like already married, and now they're going to have kids. Everything was being set in stone, and there was a lot of gifts being wrapped and gifts being there, and those prizes for many people and many things really. Now this person, she was at a celebration, celebrating with her friends and celebrating with so many people, but she got called saying, hey, so there's something going on, like from her workplace really. So there's something going on and we're not really sure on what we should do about it. Sorry, that's my leg. We don't really know what we should do about it. So would you mind coming over? And so this person had went to a workplace, and the workplace was rather odd and not really sure on how to explain much of what they do. So a couple had came in, and they were like in her little space, like inside, because there was a couch and she would sit down and chat with him. So basically, the boyfriend, there was like a boyfriend and girlfriend, and they had just lived in and moved in with each other. For some reason, the boyfriend was mostly saying, I think I might be having a possession, a demonic possession. And they were wondering if this person would do an exorcism. But she had told them that they would have to figure out if there was just the steps that were taken in. Like, no, what was steps? Has he been speaking another language, like not all of his own? Has he been acting weird at home lately? Has he been floating in midair or climbing off of walls or making things move? She had asked like a lot of questions to know if there was the right thing. Is this in his head? Has things been happening lately? Is there things that can't be quite explained? They said yes to all. But this, like, not in his head. Yes to all. And he has been acting weird. And so they basically, but the person had to explain what exorcism is. To drag out the evil that was inside this person had to really be explained and really be known on what they're supposed to do and the steps that they're going to be taking. Because during the exorcism, things could get out of hand and things could be totally wrong. So they had to make sure the steps, because if she was going to do an exorcism, there were steps to be taken. There was a lot of precautions and things would have to be known. So basically, it was the girlfriend and her brother had to come in to ask the person, would you be able to do an exorcism for my boyfriend? Her boyfriend, really. So she had nodded and went to the house to see what everything else. But she also had to call a priest because things would get totally wrong and bad. And things would totally get out of hand. So then she called the priest. The priest came and the whole house, everything was damaged. Everything. The photos fell, the crosses were turned, everything. Then they had to ask, so where's your boyfriend? He's in the room. We had to chain him up or something because we didn't know the precautions of what we should have done. So they came, done it, and asked for whoever was possessing the boyfriend, asked for the name, and they had to make sure that things were correct. And things really got out of hand. There was a lot of floating. There was a lot of tossing, people tossing and turning. And there was a lot of things that really, really were very scared. It's like, what are we supposed to do? Okay, hold him back. You guys have to stop. You guys cannot interrupt the priest or anything really. So be cautious because no, don't be scared. It took a while. The priest had brought in a lot of things to make sure that this was actually the right time or right thing to do an exorcism. And things were quite set, quite done. Things had become precious, and every time he had done the steps, he had done the precaution, he had done the speech. And it was time. But there was pain, and it was really hurting the person. These things have become sad. Things have gone out of hand. and no one spoke of that day. But the boyfriend is safe though, and the possession had gone back to where they're supposed to, but there has been left a mark. The soul was fine. Everything part of his body was fine, but still a little bit hurt though. But there was a mark on him. So they did not know anything, and the person who had done, like, talked to the priest, talked to what was said. So this is like a demonic possession. Had things been inquired? Had things been said? That mark is not a good mark. It's like a triangle with an eye, and then there was like lines across from it. Across from the eye. The eye was bleeding as well. It was like a tattoo mark. They didn't know what the mark was. They did not really explain what the mark was. But things had gotten out of hand and things were not looking good. But he is safe, he is fine. It's just that we're not really sure on what had happened, on why he was possessed, on what they were trying to do. Because there has been a lot of marks and a lot of almost killed and many things. It was quite scary and they weren't really sure on what they should have done. But things hardly too late. He's fine. They're like, he's fine, but we're not really sure on what the tattoo meant. It's what she said to them. He's like, the boyfriend's resting, but there's something odd and different that they really can't explain well. Well, that's all for my short story. I hope you have a lovely and amazing and wonderful and awesome day ever. And also like, comment, and subscribe down below and everything else really. Bye! I totally forgot to add this part. So basically, when the exorcism was done and everything was being played out and having this most amazing, and they're like so happy, and all of a sudden there were rumors being spread that things are not what they seem. The rumors being spread from their family, their friends, and for some reason people were against them. They didn't really know what to do and why they did it. But this all happened for a reason. Not really sure what to be expected and not really sure on why this all happened though. But it did. And I don't know what to do about what happened after. Well, here's the other parts that I forgot to add. Bye guys, I hope you have a lovely, amazing, and also wonderful and awesome day. Bye!